This book is dedicated to anyone still struggling with anxiety, physical and mental pain, to those suffering from difficulties and pressures, who deny their own worth and haven't yet harnessed the immense power within. Miracles are always present in your life. First, let's explore the miraculous life of a woman named Louise Hay and discover what she will reveal to you to unlock immense inner strength and transform your entire life. Louise Hay was born and raised in the United States. She endured unimaginable misfortunes that a normal person could scarcely fathom. At 1.5 years old, her parents divorced. Her mother remarried, but the new life brought no glimmer of hope. Instead, it plunged Louise into deeper darkness. Her stepfather constantly abused and beat her from a young age. Furthermore, the Great Depression of 1930 meant she lived in extreme poverty. But something more horrific was yet to come. An addicted neighbor raped Louise when she was just 5 years old. Although justice was served and the perpetrator punished, the darkness and fear haunted her throughout her childhood. She lived in bone-deep pain, surrounded by mental obsession, physical abuse, and the relentless misery of poverty. Finally, unable to endure the harassment and abuse any longer, at the age of 15, she dropped out of school, left home, and fled everything. She found work as a waitress in a small diner. Desperate for love, she easily gave herself away. At 16, she gave birth to a child, but, lacking the means to raise it, reluctantly gave it away. Afterward, Louise drifted everywhere, searching for work, and by chance became a model. Perhaps because of her striking beauty, she married an elite English gentleman, just as she had wished. She believed marriage had saved her life, so she lived very cautiously during these years. However, the good times didn't last. After 14 years, the marriage ended when Louise's husband had an affair. This shock devastated her completely, but she refused to let herself drown in that abyss forever. She resolved to study psychology and mental recovery, and 3 years later, she became a psychological counselor. During this time, she also wrote books that helped many people and became an expert in the field. Just when life seemed to have returned to its rightful course, devastating news struck her like a lightning bolt a year later. She was diagnosed with cervical cancer, an incurable disease at the time. She was confused and in agony, wondering why misfortune always haunted her. But then, she finally understood the profound underlying cause that prevented her from escaping these misfortunes, and she found a way to overcome them. Louise actively began implementing a series of self-healing methods. Surprisingly, these methods did not involve surgery to remove the tumor, nor finding the right doctor or medicine, but by focusing on deep psychological healing and cleansing her body. Finally, after 6 months, a miracle occurred. Upon her follow-up appointment, doctors confirmed that all cancer cells in her body had completely vanished. Later, Louise Hay became an internationally renowned healer, author, and speaker. She lived to be 91 years old and was a proponent of holistic health, founded a self-healing movement, and helped millions transform their mental and physical well-being, thereby improving their quality of life. So, what did she do to make miracles happen and completely change her destiny? The truth is, this miracle doesn't require any extraordinary divine power. It's something anyone can achieve. It's revealed in Louise Hay's famous book, You Can Heal Your Life, which translates to Healing Your Pain in Vietnamese. It has been translated into 42 languages, published in 132 countries, and topped the New York Times bestseller list for 50 weeks. If your life is still shadowed by anxiety, burdened by illness, plagued by fear, stress, suffering, and self-denial, Louise Hay will show you that this is because you haven't yet deeply explored and understood your life's core mission, a mission you haven't truly embraced: self-love. For many, this answer might sound overly simplistic or even cliché. But the problem for most people is that even though they intellectually know this truth, they still can't apply it because they don't know where their problem lies or what true self-love actually entails. So, I hope this book will help you understand and awaken your inner strength, enabling you to overcome all difficulties, pierce through darkness, heal your mind, body, and soul, and dramatically transform your life. So, what are your common problems? At the beginning of her book, Louise Hay shares 2 key statements. First, our life experiences are all created by our own thoughts and words. How we perceive ourselves is who we become. This means that whatever we believe, our subconscious accepts it, and what you are experiencing now is precisely what you have created. recalling a painful memory. When Louis was assaulted by the addicted assailant, she was an innocent victim. Yet, she always heard those around her say that she was also to blame. Why would the perpetrator target her and not other girls? This thought gradually ingrained itself in her subconscious, making her doubt if she had truly done something wrong. She also feared that the assailant would seek revenge after being released from prison, as her testimony had led to his conviction. When Louis went to school, her classmates came from middle or wealthy families, all neatly dressed except for Louis. Her clothes were old and worn, and her body emitted an unpleasant odor. Thus, she began to develop feelings of inferiority and self-consciousness. Once, when she attended a school party, it was the first time in her life she tasted cake. Yet, while her friends excitedly received their slices, some, even getting 2 or 3, Louis timidly stood at the back. By the time it was her turn, the cake was gone. This was Louis's thought pattern. She believed she didn't deserve delicious cake, so she didn't dare demand her rights, didn't dare tell the teacher she hadn't received a slice, but silently endured with a mindset of self-denial. With such self-negating thoughts, Louise grew up into a woman who didn't know how to love herself. The men she knew were either irresponsible playboys or abusive, like her stepfather. If someone treated her even a little kindly, she would readily fall deeply in love, willing to have abortions, willing to bear children for them, all without valuing herself. Even in her respectable marriage to the English merchant, all her actions and thoughts could not escape her inferiority complex. The feeling of unworthiness clung to her deeply, and it wasn't until she was diagnosed with cancer that she fully awakened. She realized that cancer was the result of a deep-seated hatred that had long resided within her. She hated her father for abandoning her as a child, her mother for her unhappy childhood, her stepfather for his brutality, the addicted assailant, her irresponsible boyfriends, and even her British husband for his betrayal. In truth, it wasn't others or external misfortunes that shattered her marriage and brought illness upon her, but the resentment, blame, self-doubt, and feelings of unworthiness she had harbored for so many years. The truth we must accept and confront is that our illnesses are self-created. As in the book, When the Body Says No, renowned physician Gabor Mate, based on his extensive research, also points out that if a person constantly suppresses their thoughts and emotions, struggles to say no to others, fails to recognize their own negative thoughts, or express their anger, this will cause them to endure immense psychological pressure. The authentic thoughts in their heart remain unseen forever, and this state breaks physiological balance and the immune system, leading to various physical symptoms of illness. Similarly, economist Dr. Michael Singer, who achieved enlightenment and is now a master of yoga and meditation, affirms in his book, The Untethered Soul, that negative thoughts and moods are like poisonous currents that obstruct the flow of energy in the body, and over time, these blockages manifest as illness. You will see that whether from science, psychology, or spiritual awakening, all aim to awaken you to one truth: body and mind are an integrated whole. If your body now shows signs of illness or experiences various health conditions, it is time for you to introspect and re-examine yourself. During her psychological counseling practice, Louise Hay met many different people, each feeling that their life was problematic. Some had health issues like insomnia and persistent headaches. Some faced relationship problems, feeling that others were always critical and putting great pressure on them. Others struggled with financial issues, unable to make ends meet and save money. And some had general life problems, not knowing what to do, feeling opportunities never came their way, and nothing they did seemed to go smoothly. The author patiently listened to everyone recount their troubles and losses, then analyzed what thought patterns truly trapped them. She realized that many seemingly obvious problems were not the real causes. For example, many people tried to lose weight for years, but their weight wouldn't budge. Whenever they encountered difficulties, they often blamed their obesity, believing their poor self-image had caused them to miss many opportunities. But is all misfortune truly due to weight? In fact, obesity is merely the superficial outcome of a deeper internal issue, often rooted in fear and a need for protection. Whenever they feel insecure, anxious, afraid, or inadequate, many resort to uncontrolled eating and neglecting their health. This is truly how they use food to protect and soothe themselves, but they fail to realize it. Therefore, to change our current life situation, we must first bravely confront our problems. Louise states that the main problems in our bodies and lives are largely due to 4 destructive patterns: resentment, blame, fear, and guilt. Regarding resentment, when it accumulates over a long period, it erodes the body and increases the likelihood of various cancers. Regarding blame, constant blame, criticism, or dissatisfaction with others often leads to inflammatory conditions like arthritis, especially in the finger and wrist joints. Our hands represent our ability to accept life's experiences, while wrists and elbows signify flexibility in changing life's direction. If these joints lack flexibility, it suggests that negative emotions have been held captive for too long. We are stubborn, inflexible, and lack tolerance in changing our perspectives and perceiving others. And what about fear? When we fear anything, it can easily lead to hair loss and gastritis. Hair loss is closely linked to mental stress. When we are stressed, a surge of energy from the shoulders travels to the scalp, tensing it and compressing hair follicles, preventing them from breathing, leading to hair loss. If the scalp cannot relax, hair follicles remain constantly closed, preventing new hair from growing, resulting in baldness. Stress is often a symptom of inner weakness and a lack of security. Gastric ulcers are caused by prolonged anxiety and fear, typically stemming from thoughts like, "I'm not rich enough, not good enough, not powerful enough, not famous enough, not secure enough," or from worrying about others seeing their weaknesses and imperfections. These deep-seated fears directly affect the digestive system, disrupting it and leading to ulcers. Finally, there's the feeling of guilt, which encompasses self-dissatisfaction leading to suppression. For example, many people suffer from prolonged coughing without a clear cause. They treat coughing as a disease, seeking doctors and medicine everywhere. However, the author reveals that coughing is how we examine ourselves. It originates in the throat, an organ representing our ability to speak up and assert ourselves. This means we are in a state of restriction, feeling we don't have the right to do something, cannot fulfill our deepest desires, or are unqualified to defend ourselves. This suppression inflames the throat, causing hoarseness and an inability to voice our thoughts. Furthermore, the throat also represents creativity and the experience of freedom. When this is restricted, your throat will feel uncomfortable. Many people around us never truly know freedom. They spend most of their lives trying to please parents, partners, or bosses, conforming to others' wills, never getting the chance to try what they truly want. This state of self-pity and resentment, where personal will is restricted, makes them highly susceptible to tonsillitis. Guilt is also a result of not knowing how to bring true joy to oneself, failing to offer self-love, and instead immersing oneself in illusory pleasures and self-deception. At this point, the heart, representing love, contracts and grows cold, while the bloodstream, representing joy, slows down, leading to anemia, angina, and an increased risk of heart disease. In summary, what is essential right now is for you to explore your inner self and directly confront the negative emotions hidden deep within you. Are you carrying hidden wounds from childhood, conflicts with family members or relatives? Do you always place high expectations on others, feel dissatisfied with someone, or harbor thoughts of blaming and judging them? Do you have secret envy and feelings of inadequacy? Are you anxious about a lack of money, afraid of not finding an ideal job, or fearing that your parents and others won't recognize you? And finally, is the fear of loss, the fear of death, always residing deep within your soul? The author conveys an important message. No matter what problems you face, the only way to heal and regenerate your entire life is to start with one thing: self-love. This is also the core mission that each of us must fulfill in this life. But what is the right way to love yourself, one that can create positive change? What does true self-love really mean? Many people mistakenly believe that self-love means always making oneself happy. Thus, they fall into a dualistic mindset, only embracing the good and rejecting the bad, only favoring what feels positive and fearing anything that might negatively affect them. However, self-love also includes accepting and processing negative emotions in a healthy way. Others mistakenly believe self-love is indulging oneself, constantly striving to fulfill every desire and craving, even unhealthy habits. Or they might think they must achieve perfection and grand accomplishments to be worthy of self-love. These are all misconceptions about loving oneself. Louise Hay states that a person who knows how to love themselves must first be able to observe their resistance to change and release it. What are you resisting? There are things you should do to change, but you procrastinate and fail to complete them. For example, maintaining positive habits like sleeping early, waking early, regular exercise, healthy eating, learning new skills, reading daily, controlling emotions, and so on. Simply put, resistance is a manifestation of life states like laziness, procrastination, insecurity, dependence on others, weak will, etc. But why does this resistance arise? It's because deep within you, there's a psychological need longing to be met. You yearn for love, you desire success, you want power and authority, you crave security, you want others to acknowledge you, and so forth. However, the secret of the universe's law is that the more one desires something, the less one can truly experience happiness, abundance, or genuine love. For when a person yearns excessively, they easily fall into anxiety, fear of loss, disappointment, self-doubt, dissatisfaction with themselves, and excessive expectations of others. These lead to a myriad of life problems such as obesity, illness, poverty, alcoholism, smoking, gaming addiction, oversleeping, phone addiction, deteriorating relationships, unfulfilling romantic lives, and boring jobs. The more you are immersed in this state, the more you will resist change. This is why so many people know their problems but cannot change. This is a paradox. Only when you observe the resistance within you can you gently and easily build a rich, abundant, and loving life experience for yourself. The author advises us to observe our resistance in 3 aspects. First, asterisk resistance manifests in your daily behaviors. For example, when faced with difficulties, you often procrastinate and tackle easier tasks first. Second, this resistance can be evident in your words. For instance, you might often use phrases of denial like, "I don't have time," "This environment isn't right for me," "It's their fault," "I know, but this is really hard, I can't do it," and so on. Finally, asterisk resistance also lies in your thoughts. For example, thinking, "Why am I so old, so ugly, so fat, so skinny, so short, so clumsy?" Explore these self-deprecating thoughts within yourself. Sometimes, constantly elevating and praising oneself while belittling others can also be a manifestation of an insecure ego. These are the crucial first steps to return to living with a self that knows how to love itself. Next, a self-loving person lives in the present. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, a master of meditation and mindfulness, spent his entire life emphasizing to everyone that the past is gone and the future has not yet arrived. The only thing we truly possess is the present moment. Indeed, however, most people often get stuck in the past. If one is bound by what has passed, even if they recognize the negative, resistant behaviors arising within them, it's very difficult to sustain positive change. So, the next step to truly recreate your entire destiny is to free yourself from the past. Do not let the past hinder your path to living fully in the present. This will only cause endless pain. Louis realized that the best way to free oneself from the past is to forgive. Forgiving others is also forgiving yourself. Letting go of resentment and blame through forgiveness is truly an absolutely crucial step in the journey of healing and recreating your life. Why? The author says that all relationships with others are mirrors reflecting yourself. Psychology shows that projection is an unconscious defense mechanism where your subconscious impulses, desires, and thoughts are transferred onto the external world without your awareness. Until you identify and adjust what your subconscious is projecting, what you receive back is the purest reflection of what you have projected. For example, when a relationship ends, if you feel the other person is being unreasonable, you are projecting anger. If you think the other person is being difficult, you are projecting a lack of understanding. Ultimately, who the other person truly is just your speculation, but within that projection, you have fully projected your own image, resentment or forgiveness, blame or tolerance. Your judgments of others are your own nature. If someone criticizes, blames, and is hard to please with you, then you can look deep into your soul and see if you, too, are perhaps critical of others and hard to please. Understanding this allows you to escape victim mentality and adopt a more neutral perspective, a third eye perspective, a God's eye view, seeing everything from a higher, more impartial vantage point. This way, you can avoid falling into your personal biases, no longer carrying wounds and limitations, thus making it easier to let go and forgive others. Forgiving others is also being compassionate with yourself. Others are always a mirror reflecting you. You might think that how you treat others is how they will treat you, but the truth is that how you treat yourself is how others will treat you. If you are insecure and sensitive, you will be oppressed and bullied. If you ignore your own needs, you will be abandoned. If you worry that others will stop loving you, you will experience them stopping their love. Conversely, if you love yourself deeply, you will attract a loving partner. Carl Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Ultimately, you will realize that Louis' logic points to the core principle for completely changing your destiny, transforming the thought patterns deeply embedded in your subconscious. But how can this be done? Only through self-affirmation. Affirm to yourself, "I am sovereign, I am free, I am the master of my thoughts and emotions, I am magnificent, I deserve all the best things in this life, I am love in my vast life. Everything is already perfectly aligned, complete, and whole. I believe in a power far greater than myself that flows through my body every day, every hour, every minute. I open my heart to receive wisdom. I know that in this vast world there is only one universal wisdom, and within this wisdom lie all answers, all solutions, all methods of recovery, and all new creations. I trust this power and wisdom. Everything I need to know is revealed. Everything I need comes at the right time, in the right place, and in the perfect order. In my world, all is well, and true joys come to me. I love myself more and more each day. I am love, unconditional love." This is a way to affirm yourself every day. Continue to affirm these powerful and energetic statements to yourself. When your subconscious believes that good things have already happened to you, the external world will begin to manifest these thoughts into concrete reality. If you want a happy life, you must have happy thoughts. If you want a prosperous life, you must have prosperous thoughts. If you want a life full of love, you must have thoughts overflowing with love. A truly prosperous life begins with feeling, "I am wonderful," and simultaneously, it is the freedom to decide what you want to do and when to do it. Prosperity is not about how much money you have, but a state of mind. Wealth or poverty are both external manifestations of your inner thoughts. In reality, to change everything externally, we must change from within. We must change how we think, how we speak, how we express ourselves. Only then will external change occur. Be confident that self-affirmation and self-acceptance in the present moment are the keys to positive change. When we truly love ourselves, life becomes smooth. Louis also advises us, don't just think, silent thought isn't enough. You need to speak it aloud. Declare these affirmations verbally to yourself. State what you are asterisk, not what you want. Say, "I am love," not "I want to be loved." Say, "I am abundant, prosperous," not "I want to be rich, I want to earn a lot of money." Say, "I am healthy," not "I want to get rid of my illness." When you say, "I want," or "I need," you are planting a negative belief in your subconscious, affirming to yourself that you are unhappy, lacking, and ill. Because it is only when you lack and don't have something that you desire and crave it. These negative beliefs will trap you in a loop of resisting change, continually feeling anger, blame, resentment, and a desire to accuse, and the external world will reflect these back to you with similar experiences. And when the author was diagnosed with cancer, she completely awakened from the dream of being manipulated by her subconscious, transforming her mindset and psychology. It can be said that she transcended the gates of death thanks to powerful affirmations. Through this, she continued to flow with her own healing energy, observing herself honestly, looking at the signals from her body to reflect on her soul, letting go of all resistance to change, stopping procrastination, ceasing complaints, and ending self-denial. She eliminated all hatred, freed herself from the past, reconnected with loved ones, and no longer blamed anyone. She not only forgave, but conversely, became grateful for everything. Through this series of physical and spiritual purification therapies, she created a miracle, no longer afflicted by illness, becoming a healer and helping millions of people. Her life became smooth, full of joy, prosperity, and happiness. And that miracle was nothing other than truly knowing how to love herself. We have reached the end of today's sharing. Here, please ask yourself one question: how much do you love yourself? If you want to love yourself, first and foremost, stop denying yourself, stop blaming and criticizing others. In reality, the problems you encounter in life are all created by your psychological patterns from long ago. Without conscious effort to practice and change these patterns, they will follow you throughout your life. Resolve to let go of all resistance so that you can truly change and forgive everything. Only by understanding this can we be free. As long as we blame others, it means we don't want to take responsibility for ourselves. Let the past truly pass. Don't dwell on how immense that pain was. It no longer matters. You can absolutely begin to change right at this moment today. You can completely live in the present. The power to control your life has always been in your hands. You have simply forgotten your inner strength to change everything. Now, remember it. Return to being your true self, someone who knows how to love themselves. Look in the mirror often and say, "I love you. I truly love you." May all of us now be ready to embark on this life's mission, to love ourselves. You will be able to recreate your entire destiny. Sending all of you the greatest love.